Hello everyone, that Manga Kid here to do my wrap up of the Manga Freak-a-Thon readathon that was hosted by Bizarre Individual, the Panda Post, and Mama Loves Manga. All three channels will be in the description below. This was hosted or was happening between October 19th and 31st, I believe. I'm just going to get right into it. Started off with Omnibus 1 in the perfect edition of The Drifting Classroom, classic horror manga in the beautiful hardcover. This is one I've wanted to read for a very long time, but obviously the singles are out of print, and I was so happy when they announced these perfect editions. Classic horror, perfect for October, and really glad that I got my hands on it and was able to read it during the readathon. I'll probably do a first impressions video at some point on that one. Next, I read Otherworld Barbara. This is by Moto Hagio. This is the first thing I've read by Moto Hagio. I believe these are a 2-in-1 omnibus. Very heavy, giant book put out by Fantagraphics. Really enjoyed it. Super intricate story, interlocking different events, so you really have to pay attention. I really enjoyed this first volume. I didn't finish the second volume. I only read a little bit of it during this readathon, so I'm not putting it in my pile of stuff that I've read, but I look forward to reading the second half of the story and finishing it up. Next, I continued with Doro Hidoro. This is volume 8. Really fun story about sorcerers versus humans, but in a really dark, kind of gross world. Yeah, but it's also funny. Like, it has a really good sense of humor. The characters are all very unique and individualistic and interesting. And yeah, the fight scenes are good. The comedy, kind of light, more slice of life scenes are also good. And the world is really cool, even though it's dark and creepy. It really is atmospheric and cool to look at. Yeah, so I'm enjoying continuing Doro Hidoro. Next, Volume 5 of Hitori Jime My Hero. This one, very cute cover art. It's now getting into more of a less confusing story. I know in my first impressions video, I talked about how the first couple volumes are very confusing, and if you didn't watch the anime, it's hard to follow. But these last two, like volumes 4 and 5, were really straightforward. The storytelling has gotten better, and I believe this, I can't remember entirely, but I'm pretty sure that this is now beyond where the anime was at. So I really enjoyed it. It's a fun kind of boys love, but you have to be into age gap romances. If you're not, then stay clear of it. Next, another boys love title. That's Blue Sky Feeling. This is a Viz title. More of a shonen ai. It's definitely not a yaoi by any means. This is more of a LGBT story about coming out and finding yourself and understanding yourself, and it's cute. I have a full series review that will be coming out soon, I believe. Yeah, really enjoyed that Blue Sky Feeling. Next, another one I'm continuing and really enjoying, O Maidens in Your Savage Season. This is the one about the literature club, all girls who are kind of reading about sex in these books that these classic novels, and now they're interested in learning more about sex and the kind of embarrassing and fumbling through the topic. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Very awkward puberty-esque kind of story. Next, I read volume 1 of Skullface bookseller Honda-san. This was so much fun. Very, very funny. Certain parts had me laughing out loud. I've never personally worked in retail. I work in a public setting, but not retail. But yeah, absolutely hysterically funny. Has manga references, which are fun for people who love manga, which obviously I do. But yeah, it's like employee-based ridiculousness and customer-based ridiculousness that most people can relate to if you've worked in any kind of public setting. Yeah, lots of fun. Next, I started off volume 1 of A Rosario Vampire. This is something I read a few volumes of back when I was like 13. And I've always, for many years, I've wanted to pick up the series, and get into it and see if it kind of holds up, because I only read the first like 7 volumes or something at the time, because I was getting them from the library, and I'm pretty sure that the rest of them weren't out yet. And then I moved and I just never bought the series or anything. So, yeah, fun series about a human boy who accidentally ends up at a high school for monsters, and now he is trying to hide the fact that he's human, obviously. And it's a harem kind of series where a bunch of different female monsters sort of surround him, and it's a lot of fun though. I'm not one for harem usually, but I really enjoy it. Cats of the Louvre. This is by Taiyo Matsumoto. Really, really fun, interesting story. Was super excited that this was coming out, and it's about cats that live in the attic of the Louvre in France, and they kind of are anthropomorphic at some points as well, and it's really interesting and fun and very much Taiyo Matsumoto. And it's a 2-in-1 omnibus, I believe, and it's complete in that one omnibus volume. Next, continued Volume 3, Rosario Vampire. Very much a monster of the week sort of story, at least at this point, of just each kind of chapter is a different student at the school kind of getting into a fight with the main group and continuously adding more and more girls to his harem. Yeah. Next, Volume 6 of Shortcake Cake came in, and I was super happy to read it. This is the one about the boarding house, the high school students that all live in the boarding house together. And it's so cute and lots of fun, and the romance is really picking up by this point. It seems to be quite fast. I don't know, some shoujo like dope around for a while, whereas this one seems to get right to the point, which I kind of enjoy. It's refreshing, and the art is beautiful. I'm not going to open it because I don't want to spoil anything in this volume, but yeah. Next, Volume 5, Rosario Vampire, beautiful purple cover. And Volume 6, this is the cover I always remembered, because as a 13-year-old, I thought he was gorgeous on this cover. And so, yeah, nothing more to say about that. Next, I felt like rereading Portus. This is an older Viz horror title, one-shot volume about this video game that is rumored to end up with the players being dying. It's this cursed video game, and it's bizarre. It wasn't as creepy as it was the first time I read it. Like the first time, it was very unsettling. And it's not that I remembered what happened or anything. I just wasn't as creeped out this time, but it was still enjoyable, and I like it a lot. And it's a fun, just one-shot horror series that was fun to read. I read this on Halloween, so that was nice. And then same thing, reread Dissolving Classroom. This is a Junji Ito one-shot. Again, I've read this before. I know what happens, but it was fun to read it on Halloween. And I really enjoy this title. I know that a lot of people don't, but yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory based on the cover. Uh, yeah, it's a lot of fun, and something that I probably will read maybe every year because it's short and sweet and creepy and gross and just fun to get in the Halloween spirit. Next, I continued with Dorohedoro. This is volume 10. And yeah, I was just in the mood to read more Halloween-esque titles on Halloween, so I figured I would keep with the creepy vibe and read volume 11 as well. And then I finished off the readathon with Shaman King volume 2. I only own 1 and 2. I really don't like this series. I'm sure that it's great for people who enjoy it, and I have nothing against people who enjoy it, but I am not into it. Don't care for it. The characters are not interesting to me. The cover art is what made me buy them. I found them used for like $1 each, and I was like, sure, I've heard of this title. I know it's popular, and I'm sure it's fun, but I just don't care for it at all. This kid is trying to be I think the king of shamans or something, and I don't care about it. It's got a supernatural aspect. Obviously, he's a shaman. He's dealing with ghosts and stuff, so Halloween related for sure. But I basically it was on my TBR to read this second volume in the month of October, and so I realized it was the last day of October and I hadn't read it yet, so I forced myself to read it and finished off the readathon with Shaman King Volume 2. So I had a lot of fun. I read some spooky titles and some not so spooky titles, but yeah, I enjoyed what I read, and thank you to the hosts. Again, all three channels will be in the description. Yeah, if you've read any of these titles, you want to chat about them, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Or if you have any questions about them, then for sure as well, leave those too. Yeah, thanks for watching.